Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my sister's college after she threw my toddler? Oh! When I came back, I heard both of them screaming and my toddler wailing. I saw my sister holding her ear and yelling at my toddler son while he laid on the floor crying. I was furious. I grabbed him and I saw that his head was bleeding. I immediately assumed the worst and called 911 in an ambulance. Your child is pretty young. He's not even 2 years old yet. So to toss him off the couch is horrible. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara, and for those who are new, welcome. Today is Reddit Wednesday, and the topic for today is sibling beef. For those who are new to my channel, every Wednesday I like to read through Reddit stories and give my opinions on what I think. Lately, we've been diving into Am I the A-hole stories, so we're gonna keep rolling with it. Y'all know I don't like to keep my intros too long, so let's get straight into the video. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my sister's college after she threw my toddler? Oh! For context, my 34 sister, 19, has been staying with my family while she attends college because we live very close by. That confused me at first, but the narrator is 34 years old and her sister is 19. Just feel like I should put that out there. We were paying for everything because my husband and I make a much steadier income than either of my parents. And we have enough savings together that it just makes more sense for us to pay for my sister rather than my parents, who helped pay for both me and my husband while we were both in school. In return for charging her no rent, feeding her, and paying for college, all I occasionally ask of her is to help me with my 22-month son. It is never for longer than an hour max, and only so I can do things like cook or clean without him clinging to my leg or begging to be hugged. He adores her, so it is much easier to hand him off to her while I try to clean up. She doesn't mind because I usually pay her something like $10 to $15 when it's anything longer than 15 minutes. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that's a fair trade-off. Getting my school paid for, I'm rent-free, and I'm being fed, and all you're asking is for me to watch your kid? Okay. And it's not even like it's a regular kid. It's her niece. No, it's her nephew. Maybe it's because I like kids, but I would not mind. You don't even have to ask me twice. Please understand, this is never, absolutely never for longer than an hour. I understand that she has studies and most times would rather not deal with him, but I always ask if she minds, and whenever she says she's busy or not right now, I always acquiesce. Did I say that right?
Acquiesce.
Oh, okay. I always acquiesce and try to find some other way to handle him, usually with YouTube or something similar, which I dislike, but it's better than him trying to crawl under my legs while I'm handling a hot pot or something to that effect. Something I have warned her about repeatedly is to not have necklaces, bracelets, earrings, hair clips, etc. when she's taking care of him. Anything that can be pulled or taken off. This is because he has a tendency to pull and play with them, which I know can be painful. Both me and my husband have tried repeatedly to discourage this behavior, but he's still a toddler, so of course it's challenging. He either doesn't understand or thinks our scolding is funny, and most punishments don't work either. We refuse to spank him. I'll talk about that in a second. We refuse to spank him, but you can't ground a toddler or take their things away when all they do is laugh. I'm gonna go on a short tangent. I'm sure you guys know the whole gentle parenting thing is just circulating on the internet. And it's not even just the internet, it's real life. I'm not saying to go beat your child. I'm not saying that. But I do think disciplining children can come in many forms. I'm not even gonna tell you how to parent your kid. But it seems like the parenting style is not working. It's just interesting to me how people think that being soft with their kids is what's gonna work in the long run. Maybe it's the household I grew up in. That would not have worked with me. I had to get popped a couple times. I feel like I came out all right. 2 days ago, I had to run an errand and it had seemed inconvenient to take my son when he was taking a nap. I asked her if she could watch him while I went and she said it was fine. It wouldn't have taken me longer than 20 minutes, which I told her. She again stated it was fine. Before I left, I noticed she was wearing one of those really thin plastic headbands. I told her it could be dangerous, especially with how thin it was, but she said that if he woke up, she'd take it off and put it out of reach. I already see the foreshadowing. When I came back, I heard both of them screaming and my toddler wailing. I saw my sister holding her ear and yelling at my toddler son while he laid on the floor crying. I was furious. I grabbed him and I saw that his head was bleeding. I immediately assumed the worst and called 911 in an ambulance. Having no context to this is kind of scary, because what do you mean you just came home and your kid is bleeding and they're both crying? There could have been a break-in, somebody could have fell down the stairs, you don't even know what happened. I would freak out. When the ambulance did arrive and I finally gave a closer look at my sister, I could see her ear was bleeding. Both of them were sent to the hospital. Apparently what had happened was that my son had woke up after I left. The two of them were playing together on the couch when she got distracted by something on her phone. When she looked away, my son took her headband and poked it into her ear. She had apparently thrown him into the ground to get him away from her and stopped him from poking it further. Oh my gosh. I literally had to remind myself how old your son is. 22 months? Okay, wait, no, side note. I actually have a question. Why do parents always keep the months? Like, why can't they let go after a year? And I'm not trying to clown anybody. It's a genuine question. I kid you not, I'll be online and somebody will post their kid saying, my son just turned 14 28 months. He's 4. I've always wondered that. I'm not a parent, so maybe there's something I don't know, but it would be nice to understand. But back to what I was gonna say. Your child is pretty young. He's not even 2 years old yet. So to toss him off the couch is horrible. I was still furious with her for obvious reasons. While thankfully the bleeding was just a large cut he may have gotten when he fell, the doctors say he fell so hard he now has concussion. The headband apparently damaged my sister's eardrum, however, and now her hearing is damaged. Ooh, that's crazy. Now that I know that, I'm not saying toss kids across the room, toss these kids off the couch. I know the pain when I put a Q-tip in my ear and it goes too far. So to completely damage your eardrum, I could see how the reflexes took over, which I'm sure I'll feel worse about when my emotions aren't so angry. We paid for all her hospital fees, of course. Okay, well that's nice. The situation's unfortunate, but I almost feel like that should have been the case. But then at the same time, you definitely told her to take that headband off. So if she listened, maybe this wouldn't even have happened. There's a lot of factors playing here, but let's just keep going. Obviously, my husband and I told her under no uncertain terms that she was going to move out and that we'll no longer be paying for her schooling after the semester is complete. But we will not be pressing charges or pursuing legal action, which the paramedics had explained we could do. That's actually crazy. Did you not say that's your sister? I know you're saying you're not gonna do it, but to even bring it up and be like, oh, I'm not pressing charges, so we're not gonna do this, is kind of crazy. I understand it was an unfortunate situation. That's your child, that's your baby, but she's your sister too. She did you a favor so that you can go to the store. The situation is unfortunate and I can understand the anger. I understand where you're coming from, but to let that be the cause of you not paying for tuition, I think that's a stretch. The problem is that now several family members are saying we are treating her too harsh. My parents are saying that we should forgive her because it had been an accident and that I shouldn't have trusted her with my son to begin with since he isn't her responsibility. But if she didn't want to take care of him, she could have said so. It's not like she's an irresponsible teenager. She is a grown adult capable of saying, restraining a toddler if they grab something they shouldn't. Okay, you kind of got a point there. She definitely could have said she didn't want to watch him if she didn't want to. I did overlook that. And I can't lie, I also kind of forgot that she is a grown adult. So it's really not your responsibility to be paying for her school to begin with. I think it was a very nice gesture, but you aren't obligated to do so. I will admit there are some things that I was not putting into consideration when formulating my opinions. I do still think it was kind of harsh to just rip away the finances. I do, but it's not your responsibility. And she could have said she didn't want to watch it if she didn't want to. I do not think I'm the a-hole at all. But literally everyone in my life is acting like I am for expecting my sister to do the bare basics of keeping my son safe when I ask her to. Oh, this is really, really hard. To answer the question, I feel like there's an even split, but I think it would lean more towards not the a-hole because your son really could have gotten hurt a lot more than he did. It could have been avoided because you did say take off the headband. She didn't want to do that. She could have spoken up, said she didn't want to watch the kid. She watched the kid, which is nice. She wanted to help you out. But looking at the grand scheme of things, I can't really say you are the a-hole because it's not your responsibility. The only thing that I'm wondering is where's the correlation? Like, how come that incident made you think I'm not gonna pay for your school? But hey, it's not your responsibility, so I mean, I guess. But I will say it was a little harsh. Am I the a-hole for wanting to kick my sibling out over a turkey sandwich? Me, female 35. I'm sorry. I just wasn't expecting you to be in that age range, given the question. Me, female 35, have been busting my butt to get where I am. Call me the pig with the brick house. My sibling, Grace, 31, recently got out of a very committed relationship. Not her first, has a tendency to fall easily. Growing up, she and our 2 brothers could do no wrong. I was expected to pull more than my fair share. Always. I graduated a year early from high school, took that scholarship to university, and managed to get fixed with a pretty sweet online job. Honestly, congratulations. That is impressive. The others didn't do higher education and get family handouts regularly. As for Grace, she fell for the boy next door, and then another. And then another. I mean, why you gotta say it like that? Why you gotta drag her through the mud like that? Like, you could have just said she had a few guys here and there, but you just had to put the emphasis on it, didn't you? I understand looking for love, but she goes all in and digs a hole. I've always been there to help her, but now things are extreme. She moved in with me, trashes my house. I've never had roaches before. Found one and started crying. I would cry too. Cause what do you mean there's a roach in my house? A roach? I think she could have gotten kicked out right then and there. Because it's not even like you're the messy one. She brought the roaches with her. That's actually so messed up because you really brought your sister in just for her to think that she can bring her friends with her? Oh no. Doesn't help with cooking and has me paying several bills for her. How old is she again? Hold on. 30 what? I'll pay you back. I took on a bunch of extra hours to offset her living with me, and I can't even ask her to stir a pot of soup, which I finished prepping. I just needed her to mix so I could finish up with some work emails. I don't know what your relationship is, but off rip, you're doing way too much. I think you're putting too much on your plate. Your sister's 31 years old. You're 35 years old. And it seems like the dynamic is more of like a mother-daughter relationship. Again, I don't know the situation. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I think that she needs to start taking on some of these responsibilities and not feed and leech off of you. It's time to set some boundaries. The worst concerns food. I'm a diabetic and have to choose my food very carefully. Grace will eat through her junk food and then go for my things. No, she won't, because she would have been gone. What do you mean you ate your food and then you come for mine? You were very gracious. No pun intended. I can barely keep anything in this house for long. I had a stash of soda that would normally last me 2 weeks. It was gone in 2 days and she tried to blame it on her child, 7, who also lives here. That child has pretty great manners. They would have asked me before getting into my soda. Not only do you have your sister, but you also have your niece or nephew? It didn't specify, but that's a lot. It really is. Grace uses her child because she knows my parents will always have her back, particularly when it comes to their grandchild. And no, they won't let Grace move in with them. They expect me to make things work here. Your parents are tripping. I know that was blunt, but what do you mean they need you to take care of your 31-year-old sister? Like, why can't they do it? I know everybody's different when it comes to family dynamic, but your parents need to step in and do something. Grace brings roaches with her. Like, that's problem number 1. It's been a long day. 12+ hours shift computer work, but I'm still so darn tired. My living room is trashed, no dinner set up for me to cook, and she's expecting a medal for doing a load of dishes. She wouldn't even pick up my medication for me today. Send her off. She's gotta go. If your parents can't take care of her, then she needs to go to like, oh wait, no, she got a kid. She needs to find a roommate. I'm sorry. It's just too much. You work over 12 hours a day and you had to come home to that? That would set me off. Dying for a turkey sandwich, I approached the fridge to find no turkey. It had been a huge family pack and we had bought it less than a week ago. The child's been away visiting relatives this week. Now I just want Grace out. My parents keep saying to give her time to get over the breakup and that I need to be more flexible. I realize I can be a bit anal. I'm your typical cat lady. Yes, at my age. Just want to snuggle my belly nest and read, not listen to Grace's drama shows on full blast. I want to shuffle through my house in pajamas and not trip over her stuff. I want. Maybe I am a bit much. Am I the a-hole? No. And now I gotta apologize to you because I definitely laughed at you when I first read the title. But now I get it. I get it. She's a hoarder. She has roach friends. She eats all your food, trashes the house, doesn't help you out, brings her kid with her. It's just so many things. And you're not even her parent. What are your parents doing? I'm not trying to judge. I don't know where your parents are at. Again, I don't know the full situation, but I don't think this is your responsibility. You already have so much on your plate. She's clearly disrespecting you. She's disrespecting your home. She's disrespecting your boundaries. She's not helpful. Like, it's just so many reasons for her not to be there. So no, you're not the a-hole. I would have done the same. But that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in, for watching. Again, for anyone who is new to the YouTube crew, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you had a great time here and I hope none of you guys can relate to any of this mess going on. If you did like this video, please make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps me out. But aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the flip side. T is out.